Hello, Laura J. Hamilton here, empowerment coach and spiritual teacher for your inner teen. And what I know about you by the very fact you're watching this video now is that you feel different from those around you and are hungry to understand why. You feel more intensely than other people, which means your highs and lows are more extreme. And you question things more, which leaves you feeling confused, upset, and frustrated because the answers you get just don't make any sense to you. You struggle with wanting to fit into a system that seems broken, and yet you don't know how else to play the game. As with anything, when you understand the rules, the game becomes easier. And if you can learn to maneuver the creative process intentionally, you will quickly experience an improvement in the results you are able to create. Yes, this shift takes effort, understanding and self-esteem, which we'll get into in the videos to follow this one. But the starting point is to learn how your internal wiring works and how to reprogram it so you can replace the limiting beliefs with ones that will serve you better, and that's what we're going to focus on now. The reality is that every belief you now have once began as an idea that lacked cells of recognition the first few times you heard it. The same way that some of the information I'm going to share with you now may also do for you. And it might even compete with some of your existing programming. So keep an open mind and remember Eric Hoffer's words of wisdom. To learn anything, you need a certain degree of confidence. If you have too little confidence, you will think you can't learn. And if you have too much, you will think you don't have to. And if you find yourself sitting there with your arms folded across your chest, recognize that subconsciously, you're resisting the information you're hearing. Literally, you're covering what you'll soon understand to be the container of your beliefs, your heart center. So intentionally uncross and realize you are fully in control of whether you choose to agree or disagree with what I'm about to share. So drop your defenses for the next few minutes and realize all I'm here to do is share how you can intentionally improve your life by understanding the internal programming that is currently creating your results. You can take it or leave it. I'm not attached to what you do with it, but it's important to me that you know how your internal system works and that you know you are far from broken. That in fact, you are so full of potential, it scares the crap out of you, and that's the real reason. Your first instinct is to protect the limiting beliefs that are going to do their best to minimize the significance of what I'm about to share. You're ready for this, so let's get started. To help you get a visual of how the process works, grab a piece of paper and draw a stick figure with a big head, a big heart as the body, and arms and legs off of it. The arms and legs represent your ability to take action and create your results. The heart represents your subconscious feelings and the beliefs that drive them. And the head represents your conscious thought process and your ability to make choices. The conscious mind is the rational, thinking part of yourself that makes decisions based on the information it receives from the subconscious, which stores all of your beliefs. The subconscious is constantly taking information in on all levels, intellectually, physically, spiritually, emotionally, energetically. It's able to process 2 million bits of information per second, and it accepts and stores all of it without discerning the value of any of it. The more something shows up, the more familiar it becomes to your internal system. This familiarity translates into becoming something you believe. A belief is therefore simply a habitual thought that you have assigned an emotional value to, making it feel true for you. And what we feel is true, we believe. The subconscious is an emotional memory data bank with an endless storage capacity, compared to the conscious mind, which can only process 2,000 bits of information per second, and that has the powerful capacity to discern new information and decide whether to accept, neglect, or reject it. This makes your conscious rational mind the most valuable tool you have access to. If you fail to engage the conscious mind, the subconscious will take over and see you reacting out of habit, acting the same way in the present moment that you have in the past and creating similar results. It's for this reason your subconscious can be likened to a reactive mind, whereas your conscious mind is creative and allows you to respond to new situations in new ways. It takes time to change the dominant habitual reactive pattern you're accustomed to, but learning to intentionally do so will serve you beyond measure. Think of a skill you've mastered, like walking. When you were a baby, you fell 1,000 times before you were able to stand up. You fell many more times after that as you took your first few unsupported steps too. And barring exceptional circumstances, you eventually became so good at it, you can do it without even thinking about it. You've moved from being consciously incompetent to unconsciously competent. You can do it without even thinking about it. It's a skill you know you can do because you now have more files of recognition that say you can than ones that say you can't. Now, if a situation were to arise that changed your unconscious competence as a walker, you would have to retrain your brain to either accept the diagnosis and change your belief, or change the diagnosis to fit your belief. Now, obviously, that takes a high level of mental mastery, but your beliefs really are that powerful. Whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you are 100% right. When you learn to master your mind, you open a world of possibilities that exist outside of the realm of reality, which is simply recognizable evidence appearing legit in tomorrow's yesterday. I came up with that acronym while putting this together for you, and I'm pretty proud of it. So I'm going to say it again so you don't miss it. Reality is recognizable evidence appearing legit in tomorrow's yesterday. Yes, your reality feels very real in the moment because it reflects the consequences of yesterday's choices. But what it's also saying is that right now, you have the power to create a tomorrow that's totally different. And sure, there will be part of you that wants to resist this and back up your limiting beliefs by saying, "But Laura, I say that because..." And you'll come up with some very convincing stories that seem to back them up. But here's the thing. Everything that follows because is simply false evidence appearing real. Fear, another acronym. And as my favorite poem by Marianne Williamson says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is so much easier to play small than to play full out. And it's because your mind is like a Google search engine that displays the most relevant stories first. And here's the crazy beautiful thing. It's not until around the age of 7 that our conscious mind forms, which means until then we automatically accepted the opinions and judgments of others as our truth for all of those years. What's beautiful about that, you ask? And I get you may be thinking, it's not fair that people puked their junk into my subconscious before I could defend myself and now I've got to clean it up for the rest of my life? I hear you, but hear this. What if your soul chose those painful experiences and hurtful people for how they could prepare you to become the person you're meant to be? What if those limiting beliefs were planted in you just so you can help other people struggling with those same things later? What if you needed to experience it so you could find a way out of the fear and guide others through theirs? So what if, in fact, that poison is actually the antidote you came here to share with the world? How crazy beautiful is that shift in perspective? The more conscious you become about the words you speak, the thoughts you think, and the beliefs that reveal themselves through your choices, the faster you'll be able to reprioritize the beliefs that run your life. The beauty about being exposed to this kind of information now is that now that you know why you will always battle between old, outdated beliefs and the ones you have consciously chosen to replace them with, you can choose better. The voice of self-doubt and judgment will never go away, but you can intentionally tone it down by giving your energy to stories that will support you instead. By knowing your beliefs never disappear altogether and that it's up to us to determine how much energy we give them, instead of getting down and dirty in the mud with a negative idea or a belief, we can choose to touch it and move on to a thought that serves us better instead. It's about reprogramming your subconscious wiring, the Google search engine of your inner net, to work for you instead of against you. To show more supportive, positive, and uplifting stories sooner in your subconscious search engine results. And with this understanding, you can now consciously choose which files to continue giving your energy to and which ones to intentionally override. The beliefs you currently have are very well rooted in the bedrock of your subconscious, while the thoughts you choose to invest your energy into now require time to branch out. So each time you catch yourself running a negative program, instead of beating yourself up over it, simply change your thought to one that will serve you better as soon as you notice it. The faster you can change your internal dialogue, the faster your results will follow suit. It really is as powerfully simple as changing the stories you tell yourself to change your life. But simple and easy are two very different things. Stop letting the past define you. Your present reality is simply a reflection of your past level of awareness of your potential, whereas your future will reflect the choices you make now. So, now that you understand the power you have access to within you, and the importance of consciously choosing which beliefs you will give your energy to and which ones you'll push further down the list moving forward, I hope you'll begin to intentionally choose what you're willing to believe about yourself and your unlimited potential. In the next video, we're going to look at how your beliefs fit into and assemble your self-image, so that by the end of this series, you'll have actionable steps to really take control of your life. I look forward to seeing you there. Laura J, namaste. The light in me honors the light in you.